So this is day 15 out in North Carolina. I woke up, went to the morning meeting, and recruited a couple helpers to go up and help me with Heiko's concrete. I figured there'd be somebody there, and Stacy, the gentleman who had helped me the day before, mentioned that he would come and possibly do it. Now, I explained that we were mixing concrete in a mixer and doing it all by hand, basically, with bags and stuff, and he said he would, but you never know how people are. I know a lot of times people won't do it, but I'll be darned if that man didn't show up and was right there, and he even brought his brother with him, which those two old boys were just absolutely the workingest machines I ever met, man. So we went to go up to the mountain, and we're going up there, and it's just every day, it's just patience. Right when we were going up and supposed to be up there to work at 9:30, we ran into basically a roadblock where they had dug out a culvert and were replacing and putting in a new culvert for water runoff. And it was just, the road was completely dug up. There was no road, so we were completely stuck and had to sit there and wait. And so we were sitting there waiting for a minute and talking and trying to figure out what we were going to do. And I went up and just BS with the excavator guy, a big excavator, and I explained to him, kind of what we had going on, and he said he could sneak us through as long as we didn't tell nobody. So you guys can't tell nobody either. But no, he was able to sneak me through real quick because it was kind of a deal, and there was a little road around where you could take a path around that I didn't know, but you would pretty much have to have four-wheel drive, and I didn't have four-wheel drive. So he just said, when I get it buried real quick, I'll let you try and pass by real quick. I'll give you enough of a shot. They were putting down 2 culverts, and he said once he got one down, he would just bury it enough to where I could sneak by. He was just a really nice guy. And yeah, the side he had done was closest to the hillside, and I go, and he had it ready to go, and I hammer down and go through it, and right when I went through it, my ass end sunk bad and completely slid sideways and towards the downhill side, and I was like, ooh, that was a little scary. Got my heart racing, and she wasn't going anywhere. It was just too soft, and 2-wheel drive. I hit it at ramming speed, but she just sunk and squatted and sat there. The big old F-250 just sunk like a rock. And I obviously couldn't go anywhere, so I gave him a head nod and said, hey, could you push me out with the excavator? So he grabbed that big excavator and just gave me a little love on the push on up. And it's an old truck, I don't care about it. But that guy was, you could tell he's ran a machine a lot in his life. I mean, he probably could have shaved my face if I wanted him to. He was that good. I mean, he was just, and it was a giant machine. It was a 80,000 pound machine. He just made it look like butter. I mean, it was easy. So yeah, we got up to the mountain, and the other 2 guys, they were in their 50s, man. Me and those 2 guys, and then Heiko, and he's I didn't quite hear what he said, but I know he's probably in his 50s as well. So we just all 4 of us worked our tails off, man. And in between 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock, we poured 4 pallets of 80-pound sack concrete into that big hole for that bridge. And I was mainly the shovel man. I dumped sack concrete in there as much as I could. I might have done 3/4 of a pallet maybe, but I did a majority, almost all the shoveling, and we had to shovel a lot to the back side, and I bet I shoveled, it felt like probably at least a pallet and a half. And once again, it was just shoveling it through those holes right beside the beams. In between the 2 beams, I had to shovel it across the concrete, and there's a little backboard, and it slid down into the back of the form on the backside. So I had to sling a pallet and a half at least of mud to the backside of that footing. So shovel by shovel, just basically throwing it, slinging it. It was a good little workout. It was, like I said, 4 pallets, and we just filled up that whole complete footing underneath the bridge there, and we just had to fill it in. Heiko had formed it all up, and we were just there to mix. He built a little platform, and we just rolled the concrete mixer back and forth on the platform. And I built a little backboard to where we could shovel the concrete through the hole in between the bars and just get it back in there pretty deep. Unfortunately, didn't get pictures of it before we poured the concrete, and the way we had our little setup, and when I had my backboard set up between the beams on the backside. But you can get the general idea from the pictures and just kind of envision it yourself. And yeah, it worked phenomenal. And I'll tell you what, we hit it hard, man. And those old boys are just, I give them the absolute most respect. They are extremely hard workers, and just they came to throw down. And I got a lot of respect for all of them, all three of them. Heiko too, man. He works so hard. But yeah, we busted that out with the swiftness. Like I said, four pallets, which is almost 4 yards of concrete, all by hand mixing. So we went back down the mountain after that and ate lunch real quick, and went out back to mucking in the basement, and finished mucking out one of the rooms there with the hot water heater. And we were hoping that the mud came from the front window. That's what I was really hoping. And the door had blocked that other room, and we just didn't know until we were able to open the door and see inside. But unfortunately, it was compacted as well. So I don't know if I'm going to get onto that project or not. I just got to compare time and things like that. But it's really close now, and it's just, we need to sort through all that stuff. And I was doing it without the homeowners there because we were just working away. And she had told me it was okay for me to just go in there and plug away whenever I wanted to. So I just I kept going in there. Everything was always pretty much self-explanatory, except when I got to that, I knew there would be stuff that they wanted to go through. And we were pretty tired, and we just we cut out a little early that day. It wasn't really that early. I want to say it was probably 4, but we all got that work ethic where we want to go all day. But boy, we really felt it. I know I felt it a lot, and I could only imagine what those guys felt. They did a lot of the lifting of the bags, and just as much, if not more, manual labor than I did. And they got me by over 10, 15 years. I just got a lot of respect for those guys, and they were somewhat local too here. I think they were right outside of the zone that got hit. I shoveled a lot too, though. We all did a lot, man. It was just extremely hard work by all of us. It was a lot, but we all did it with smiles on our face and happy attitudes. And I won't lie, it felt real good to work hard like that. And overall, it really was just a good time, just with some good hard work. I really did enjoy the day. I really appreciate the old boys for helping work, and I appreciate the homeowners for even letting me come and work on their property and try and help out. So it was a real great experience and a good time, and it felt good to work real hard. So yeah, I appreciate everybody for keeping along. Thanks.